All right, guys, here we are back again with a final three episodes of the Obi-Wan show. So it'll be episodes 4, 5, and 6, which was the new one that just came out today, the season finale. Hopefully, the series finale, but as of now, just the season finale. So let's just get right into it. Episode 4 was an absolute joke. I honestly there's so many things. So essentially, what it was about at the end of episode 3, Riva and the other Inquisitors take Princess Leia. They don't show that. They don't let you know that or anything. They just she's gone. So it's Obi-Wan and Riva, and Tala, which is the Empire general that's working both sides. Roken, which is who Tala brings Obi-Wan to. Roken is played by Ice Cube's son, which is pretty cool. And then Roken's two friends, Wade and Sully. So they come up with a plan to sneak Obi-Wan and Tala into the Grand Inquisitor base or whatever, and sneak Princess Leia out. So essentially, Tala goes in there. They're like, "Oh, is your stuff still gonna work? Because everybody knows you're a traitor." And she's like, "We'll just have to hope it does." She gets through goes to the first checkpoint, and the guy's like, "Oh, you can't go in." And she yells at him and is like, "Do you know who I am? I'm a general bitch. I'll send your ass out to latrine duties." Essentially. And he's like, "Oh shit, sorry bitch, go on through." So she goes through, and so this is where stuff gets really stupid. So she goes into the room, and she's at a desk like this, and maybe from here to this easel here, there's a person sitting there at another computer. She sits down and pulls out this little transponder thing. She's sits down. The guy's right next to her. Who's Empire? Not oh they're friends. No, he's the Empire. She sits down and she's like, "Obi-Wan, I'm in position." And the guy even looks like, "Bitch, what the fuck you doing?" Like like the guy doesn't hear you, and she's like, "Okay, we're gonna sneak you in now." And he's like, "I'll open the door for you." And she pushes the thing, and the guy's looking at her like, "Oh, bitch, what the fuck are you doing?" It was just the stupidest thing I've ever seen. How they expected us to believe oh, that guy doesn't hear her. The fuck. So they go. Obi-Wan comes up through the bottom of the base and swims in, and they're doing all their shit. Right? He's trying to find Leia, and then a guy comes to Tala, and he's like, "Hey, we need to talk to you. Something's off. You're a little fucking weird over here talking to yourself." So she comes over, and takes her. They walk 5 feet away, that direction. So if the computers are this way, facing that way towards the wall, they walk 5 feet this way, and go behind a shoe rack. Essentially, it's a bookshelf, and she chokes them out. Nobody can fucking hear them, and he's and she's choking him out, and she's gone for 10 seconds and then comes back, and the other guy is sitting at the computer looks at her and just goes back to work. You didn't hear their big struggle 30 inches to your left? What the fuck? So yeah, they go through a whole bunch of other shit that's stupid. Obi-Wan goes into their basement essentially and finds out that all the Jedi they've killed, they freeze and keep as a trophy room, which okay, whatever. Again, the whole rest of the episode was fucking stupid. This was some Goonie level shit. Like a kids movie. This was the Goonies or Little Rascals bullshit. And then he finally gets Princess Leia, and they meet up with Tala again, and they're like, "All right, let's get out." Homie puts on a fucking trench coat and like just holds her on the side, and he's like nobody's gonna fucking see this giant fucking tumor on your leg that's Princess Leia. And they walk through the middle of the fucking base and nobody looks. They walk right past the Inquisitors. Nobody says a damn thing, right? And then all this shit starts happening and they're like, oh my god, we finally found you. Somebody finally fucking sees. And they're like, oh shit, he's escaping. And then all of a sudden, Wade and Sully, which are Roken Ice Cube's sons, friends come in, and they're like, pew, 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 and they're like fucking ships. But the fucking hangar isn't even that big. And they like fucking fly in, and they just expect us to like think that they're not going to run into the goddamn walls. So they're doing all their bullshit, and Luke, god damn it, Obi-Wan and Leia and Tala all get in the ship with Sully, and they take off, and they're like, oh my god, wait, come on. And then Reva uses the Force, and like throws like an explosive container at him, and he dies. And you're supposed to be sad, but I don't give a shit, because I don't even know who the fuck Wade is. I met him for 10 seconds, and I'm supposed to be like, oh, he's dead? I don't give a shit. It's whatever. So then episode 5 comes. And this is all about them like holding out. Because now the Empire knows where they are. Because Sully and Tala and Obi-Wan and Leia all go back to Roken's little base. And they're like, bitches, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, what the fuck? And they're like about to leave, and then the fucking shutter doors get locked shut by the Empire, and he's like, Roken's like, oh my god, we gotta override it, but it's gonna take me fucking hours. So Obi-Wan's like, alright, I'll buy you some time. So he goes and like they guard the doors, and all these people are like, essentially they make like a little army to like hold out against the Empire and Reva until Roken can hopefully get it fixed. And he's like, it's gonna take hours. And Princess Leia's like, get me a ladder, I can fix it. The fuck? When did you go to fucking ITT Tech and learn how to fucking override Empire base, or fucking override shutter doors? Like, what the fuck? Like, 2 seconds ago you were running away from fucking bandits and you couldn't escape them, but now you know how to fucking override fucking shutter doors? Because all of a sudden you went to fucking ITT Tech and fucking Harvard, and all of a sudden you're like, bitch, what the hell do you know, Roken? Give me like 5 minutes, I can fix it. So Princess Leia gets in the fucking ladder and goes up there. She's up there, and they're trying to fucking guard the door from Reva, and Obi-Wan's like, you know what? I'll just talk to this bitch. Like, I got it under control. Like, I'll talk to her. So they blast this she cuts this hole. She's trying to like get in, and he's talking to her through the door, and he's like, I know who you are, like, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, I'm supposed to care again, like, oh my god, Reva has such an interesting story. And she's like, I used to be a Padawan, and I was learning, and then Master Anakin came in and killed all my friends, and now I'm pretending to be a bad guy to avenge my friends and try and kill Darth Vader. Oh! First of all, you're supposed to have this, like, big epiphany. No shit, obviously. I called it from the first episode. I knew it was going to happen. Second of all, you really think your little ass Padawan, with all your barely any learning, is going to be able to kill Darth fucking Vader? Obi-Wan couldn't even kill him. What the fuck makes you think you're going to be able to? So Obi-Wan's like, I bet, like, I'll tell you what, we'll team up, kinda, and we'll make a distraction, we'll leave, and Darth Vader's, like, focused on us getting out of there, like, you kill him. And she's like, I bet. At this point, also, Empire had broken in, I forgot this part, whatever. Empire had broken in, and they were, like, going through and killing everybody. They kill Tala, the Empire. Again, who gives a shit? It's not And I don't care. I don't know who the fuck these people are. They're just for the show. So who gives a shit? So they go, they kill Tala. She blows herself up to kill like a bunch of other stormtroopers. Whatever. So then Darth Vader's like, bitch, I'm gonna come down there and I'm gonna finish this shit myself, right? Also, forgot to mention this small thing. Reva gets made Grand Inquisitor at the beginning of this episode. Okay, keep going. Right? So they go and fucking Princess Leia figured out how to fucking fix the ship, the blast doors all of a sudden, because she went to UTI or ITT Tech or whatever the fuck it's called, and became a mechanic and can fucking fix it now all of a sudden. So they're pretending to leave, and Darth Vader comes into the hangar, and there's one ship, and it goes to take off, and homie's like, bitch, I don't even care. Uses the Force. This part was cool. Uses the Force, holds the ship, and like slams it back down to the ground. Uses the Force and rips it open, and sees there's nobody in there. Again, they show the hangar. There's not another ship in there. Not another ship. Then all of a sudden, another ship appears and blasts off. And Darth Vader's like, ugh. He doesn't use the Force again for some reason. It's just like, stares at it. And then Reva comes up behind him to try and kill him. She activates her lightsaber, goes to slash him. And bitch is like, psych! And he starts kicking her ass using only the Force. She's like swinging at him with her lightsaber, just like, blocking all of it with just the Force. It was pretty cool, not gonna lie. And then she like tries to do something, and he grabs her lightsaber and like throws it at her, and she like dodges it, and they get in this fight, and Darth Vader's kicking the shit out of her, obviously. And then they have like her lightsaber is like two attached to the stupid little spinny thingy. She like rips them apart and gives her one, and then obviously he's kicking the shit out of her, and then he stabs her again. This bitch got stabbed as a child. This bitch got stabbed as an adult. How she didn't die here is beyond me. But she doesn't die. Qui-Gon Jinn, who's fucking awesome and a badass Jedi, he dies from getting stabbed. This bitch nobody cares about gets stabbed twice and doesn't die. Who cares though? Whatever. So then, the big reveal, oh my god, the Grand Inquisitor from episode 1 or 2 or whatever the fuck that she thought she killed is still alive. And he's like, bitch, you really thought you could kill me like that? And she's like, oh my god, oh. Darth Vader doesn't kill her, he just leaves her there. Why? Because I don't know. So she leaves, and earlier in the episode, Obi-Wan received like a fucking little message from Senator Organa, and it's like, oh, like, where the fuck are you? Like, whatever, if you're not back soon, like, we're gonna come looking for you. Hopefully they haven't found Luke on Tatooine. I'll go talk to Owen. And she plays it, and it hears, Luke, Tatooine, Owen, boy's uncle. And she's like, bitch, I'm gonna go there. That's how the episode ends. Everybody gets away safely. Darth Vader thinks he killed Reva, even though he just leaves her there. And this bitch somehow apparently has a perfect hole in her stomach where like all her organs don't touch, and her spine like goes around it or something. Because she didn't die. She was perfectly fine. Which is bullshit. Right? So that's how that one ends. And honestly, like, I was just like, what the flying fuck is going on? Like, why is all this bullshit on this stupid ass show? Why does nothing on this show make any fucking sense? They're just like, you know, it'd be cool if we just did all this bullshit people are asking for, but we didn't have it make any sense. We'll bring Obi-Wan back. Y'all want him to fight Darth Vader? Okay. We'll have him fight Darth Vader, and we'll make up this bullshit-ass thing for him to fight. Oh, you want to see Darth Vader fight someone again? Cool, we'll just make up some random-ass shit. Oh, you want to see this? You want to see this? And they just do all this stupid-ass shit that makes no fucking sense in anything other than Disney-ass's fucking stupid-ass brain when it comes to Star Wars. God damn it. So then we get to episode 6, but I need a drink first. Alright. So then we get to fucking episode 6. episode fucking 6. The end of it. Hopefully the end of the whole show. Hopefully they don't do a second season. But God fucking knows only what might happen. So who knows? Episode 6. They're in the ship. This giant ass Star Destroyer that Darth Vader's on can't catch up to this janky ass fucking piece of the 1996 fucking janky ass Honda Civic with the bumpers falling off. Can't catch up to it. They're blasting it though. They're like, pachoo, pachoo. And Roken's like, ah, shit, bitches. Shield ain't getting home. And Obi-Wan's like, oh my fucking God, everything you fucking do is broken all the time. Right? So he's like, alright, bet. I'll go get in the little dropship and I'll distract him. Because everybody knows all he cares about is fucking Darth Vader. All Darth Vader cares about is fucking Obi-Wan, right? All he cares about is me. All he cares about is me. So he's like, Leia, bitch, I'm out of this joint. And she's like, no, you can't leave me. He's like, bitch, I ain't even your dad. Like, leave me the fuck alone. You're getting too clingy, right? No. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I gotta do this. I gotta keep you safe. And she's like, oh my God, okay, I love you. And you don't see it, but she slips Obi-Wan the little droid, her little droid friend, and it's so fucking adorable. Right? So Obi-Wan's like, all right, I'm out this bitch. I'm gonna go fight Darth Vader myself, because that's worked out so well for him before. So he gets in the dropship and he deuces out, right? He's like, phew. And Darth Vader's like, bitch, there he is. There he is. Fuck these other people. There he is. Get my ship ready. I'm gonna go kill this bitch. Right? So Darth Vader gets in his little dropship and he's like, pachoo! And he's out. Follows Obi-Wan to this like fucking planet of rocks. Like all these fucking rocks are everywhere. And you're like, oh my God. This is gonna be such a crazy fight. And let's start here. Aside from the fact that, again, they're breaking all the fucking canon of everything and they're just throwing everything out the fucking window. It was a good fight. I'll give you that, right? It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Should it have happened, though? No. It shouldn't have fucking happened. So anyway. Darth Vader follows him to the planet, right? And he gets out of the ship, and Obi-Wan's standing there, and he's like, I'm here to destroy you, my master. And he's like, do you think you can destroy me? And then call back to episode 3, Obi-Wan's like, I will do what I must. And then he whips out his lightsaber, and he does his little, with his fingers, right? The stupid little thing in it, whatever. And they start fighting. They start beating the ever-living shit out of each other. And obviously Darth Vader is so much stronger than Obi-Wan. And obviously Darth Vader would be able to kill him in like 10 seconds. And obviously all that. Obviously, nobody's going to die because they both appear in later things. So honestly, I'm watching the fight like, what the hell is even the point of this other than for it to just be cool? We both know nobody's going to fucking die, right? So they're beating the shit out of each other. And Darth Vader is like absolutely destroying Obi-Wan's ass. Like, destroying his ass. And Obi-Wan, like, does something and it pisses Darth Vader off, so he puts his hand on the ground and just makes the whole ground collapse under Obi-Wan, right? And he falls in this, like, big-ass pit. And then Darth Vader's, like, picking up all these rocks and, like, collapsing them on top of him, right? And again, he doesn't make sure he's dead. Again, because in this thing, they make Darth Vader not give a shit about killing people and finalizing anything. Because, again, they don't know what they're fucking doing. So, he leaves. He's like, I killed you, my master. Like, I'm the best. Woo! And he's out. And Obi-Wan all of a sudden has all these little epiphanies. And he's like, oh, I have to do this. Like, I have to do this for Leia. And he has all these little pictures of Leia and Luke popping into his head. And it gives him the power to use the Force and push all the rocks off of him. And it gives him the power to go and catch up to Darth Vader. And it gives him the power to kick Darth Vader's ass. Which was so fucking dumb. All of a sudden he's like, oh, it's for the children. I have to fight them for the children, right? right? So then Darth Vader, he catches up to him. Obi-Wan's like, catches up to him, and he's like about to stab him in the back, and he ignites his lightsaber, and Darth Vader's like, bitch, and he like starts beating the shit out of him again. And now that Obi-Wan has the power of the children behind him, he can defeat Darth Vader. And he's like beating the shit out of Darth Vader, and like throwing him around with the Force, and he does this thing where he like uses the Force and pulls some like Doctor Strange shit and like picks up like 1,000 fucking rocks and is just like pelting Darth Vader with it. And then Darth Vader's like, alright, bitch, that's enough of this shit. And he starts coming at him again. And they're doing all the like lightsaber fights and then whatever. And Darth Obi-Wan starts like using the hilt of his lightsaber to like smash Darth Vader's like controls on his chest, right? And he's like starting to have trouble breathing, kind of like at the end of episode 6 when he's like, right? And they're fighting and fighting. And then Obi-Wan does this thing where he like runs at Darth Vader and like jumps off this rock and like slashes him, and it cuts half of his mask off, and he like is looking at the eyes of his old best friend, yada yada yada, and he's like, what have they done to you? And his voice is like, because it's half covered, like half not, you can like, it's like half Darth Vader voice and like half Hayden Christensen. So he's like explaining to him like, oh, like, he's like, Anakin Skywalker's, he's dead. He's like, you didn't kill him, Obi-Wan. He's like, I did. I became Darth Vader. And he's like, well, then my friend truly is lost. And he's like, they're like talking a little bit. And then Anakin and Darth Vader's like having trouble breathing and everything, and he's like really weak because all his shit's fucked up. And Obi-Wan's just like, well, then I'll like leave you to it, and he like walks away from him, and Darth Vader's like, get back here, you pussy, like blah 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 blah, and he doesn't come back, obviously. And then that's how their fight ends, and then that's it. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you just fucking kill him? He's the biggest threat to the entire fucking universe, and you fucking let him live. Like, if you're this all-powerful Jedi all of a sudden, and you want to save the children and save everything, then fucking kill him right there. Why do you just let him? Why is everybody just fucking letting everybody live? It doesn't make any fucking sense. He should have fucking killed him, but he didn't. Why? Because you need him for episode 6, 7, 8, 9, a bajillion. They're going to need Darth Vader for all those other episodes. They need him for 4, 5, and 6, though. So they can't kill him. So why make him fight to that much of an extent when you know you can't kill him? It just looks stupid. So then Obi-Wan leaves, and we cut back to Reva. And Reva's all of a sudden, everybody left her in this little hideout all alone with no ship, but the bitch teleported to Tatooine. They didn't show her. God knows how she got there. She fucking went out to the street and showed a little leg and got a ride from a fucking space semi-truck driver, maybe. Who the fuck knows? So the bitch shows up there, and they're like, she goes up to these farmers, and she's like, I'm looking for Ben. And the guy fucking tells her, obviously. She couldn't use the Force to fucking pull it out of him, but she tells her anyway. So she goes, and Uncle Owen, this guy runs up to Uncle Owen and like warns her like, hey, this bitch is coming to look for your ass. Like, and I don't think it's gonna be sexy. Like, I think she's trying to kill your ass. And he's like, I bet, like, I gotta get home to Baru, right? So they go home. Luke and Owen go back home, and he's like, go play with your fucking toys. Like, get out of here. The parents are talking, right? So him and Baru are talking, and you think Baru's gonna be like, oh my god, like, we get out of here. Bitch is like, bitch, let's fucking whoop her ass. Like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Like, let's kick some ass. She goes into this, like, little fucking hole in the wall, like, pulls out this giant-ass gun, and she's like, I ain't running. This is my home. Let's fuck them up. And Owen's like, I bitch bet. Like, this is a little sexy. Like, after we kill her, like, we gonna need some sexy time later, because you're turning me on, right? So they go, they do that. Reva shows up in the middle of the night, and they tell Luke, like, oh, Tusken Raiders are coming. Like, you need to hide, and if we tell you to run, run. And get the hell out of here, right? So Reva comes, she trips to the like, perimeter thing, and Owen knows that they're coming. She, like, comes into their house, and Owen and Bruce start, like, blasting her, right? They start blasting her. And she's blocking them all with the lightsaber, and yada, yada, yada. And, nobody, Beru's not going to die. Owen's not going to die. Luke's not going to die. So, again, who the fuck cares? Why make this big deal when nobody can fucking die? Because everybody's got plot armor. Everybody makes it to other stuff. So, who the fuck cares if this dumbass bitch from this new show dies? I don't give a shit. I don't care about any of these side characters. Who gives a fuck? Right? So they're fighting, and Uncle Owen surprisingly is doing like a pretty good job at fighting her or whatever. He gets knocked out. She like throws him off the ledge or whatever, and he like falls, whatever. And then he goes to Beru. Beru's like starting to kick the shit out of him. She knocks her out. And Luke like climbs through this hole in the ceiling and like hauls ass through the desert. Like, homie can fucking run. And Reva, like, pops out the top, and she's like, God damn it, everybody's fucking running from me, and my stomach's bleeding, and everybody's fucking running, right? So she chases after him, and he's, like, on this, like, rock cliff, and she uses the Force to, like, pull him down, and Obi-Wan, like, can sense it. And he's like, oh my God, Luke, I gotta get home. So he, like, puts his ship after he fought Darth Vader, puts that bitch in overdrive, puts on the NOS like fucking Vin Diesel, and he's like, I'm out this bitch, right? He's, like, racing for her. Bitch is, like, 5 feet away from him. I don't know what the fuck he expected to do. He gets there, and she's about to kill Luke Skywalker, because apparently she thinks, like, that'll make Darth Vader mad, even though he could give two shits at that point, but whatever. She goes to kill him, and all of a sudden Luke like turns into her, like in her mind, and she's like, oh my God, like, I'm killing a child. And she's like, oh my God, I'm turning into him, blah 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 blah. And then it cuts, so you don't know whether she kills him or not. Obviously she doesn't kill him. Every fucking thing else relies on Luke Skywalker being alive, so he doesn't die. And then Obi-Wan finally shows up on the planet like fucking 4 hours later. And he's like, oh my God, where is he? Like, where's Luke? And he's like, oh, like, he ran off. Like, I'll go, whatever. And he's like, I'll go search. And then Beru's like, no, look, like, this bitch is coming. And she's coming with Luke in her arms. And you're supposed to be like, oh my God, she killed him. What the hell? That's crazy bitch. Obviously, he didn't die. It's Luke fucking Skywalker. It's fucking stupid. So that you know he didn't die. You can't kill Luke Skywalker because he's the baddest mofo around, right? So she comes and like sets him down and like, oh my God, he's dead. And obviously he's not dead. He starts breathing and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. So they take him. Beru and Owen go back in the house with Luke's body, whatever, and she's like, I couldn't do it, I couldn't kill him. And he's like, oh my God. And she's like, I've become him. And he's like, no, you've become better because you chose not to kill a child. All the young Padawans that died with you are so proud of the decision you made, blah, 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 blah. And it's so fucking dumb. And they have this precious little moment. And she's like, well, what should I do now? And then that's how that ends. And you don't know what the fuck happens to her. Honestly, who the fuck cares what happens to her? So then it goes back to Obi-Wan. And it's like, whatever, the next morning or whatever, or 30 years later, or who the fuck knows. And he's like packing up his little house that he had like on the mountain overlooking Owen's farm. And he's like packing everything up. And, alright, so anyway, he's packing up his little house, and he's like, oh my God, like, off to save the world again, blah, 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 blah. And he picks up this little toy, and he, like, gets on his fucking camel, and he goes down to Owen's farm, And he's like, bitch, the fuck you doing here? And he's like, I just came to tell y'all, like, I'm going deeper into the sand dunes to, like, become a crazy hermit man like I do in episode 4, right? So he's like, I bet, like, deuces. And Obi-Wan's walking back to his little camel, and Owen's like, oh, do you want to meet him? And he's like, hell yeah, bitch, I'll meet Luke Skywalker. Like, he's the baddest mofo around, right? And then he walks over, and Luke, like, stands up, and he goes, Obi-Wan goes, hello there. And everyone's supposed to be like, oh, he said the line. I wish he said, I don't want to fight Darth Vader instead, because that makes more fucking sense. I wish he said that when they were pitching the idea to him. Whatever. So he does the stupid hello there, and then it cuts away. And then it goes back to Obi-Wan riding on his little camel. Riding through the camel. Riding the camel through the middle of the desert. And then he gets to, like, the little valley that you see in, like, episode 4 where he, like, Luke goes into or whatever. And fucking Liam motherfucking Neeson pops up as a Force ghost. And I was like, ooh, ooh, everybody knows Liam Neeson's the best motherfucker around. Whatever. And he's like, bitch, like, took you long enough. And he's like, oh my god, master, I've been trying to see you harder. And he's like, bitch, I've been here the whole time. I've just been waiting here for you, biatch. And he's like, well, let's do this together then, right? And they go through the little fucking valley. And it was badass to see Liam Neeson again, not gonna lie. That was really cool. I love Liam Neeson. He's a cool actor, cool guy. And it was cool to see him again as Qui-Gon. So that was cool. Then it goes back to Princess Leia, because she got saved, yada yada. And she's like, who are you meeting today, Papa? More cousins from across the pond. And he's like, something like that. And Obi-Wan pops out, and they're like, oh my god, it's him, oh my god. Right? And you're supposed to care how they expect for people to fucking... She's 10, and whatever, the events of New Hope max, let's say they start 10 years later. She has no recollection of going on this crazy-ass long adventure with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and in episode 4, like, they're just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, no, whatever. They're supposed to be like BFFs, lovey-dovey, and like, that's what doesn't make any fucking sense with this show. Like, how do they expect me to believe that in episode 4, she's just like, treats him as an acquaintance? Like, in this, she's like, oh my god, like, he's my best friend, like, he's like a father to me, yada yada. But in episode 4, they're just like, oh, what up, bitch? Like, what up? So, whatever. Obi-Wan brings her back the droid that she slipped in his pocket. And he's like, yeah, this is for you. And she's like, oh my god, you brought me back Lola. And she's like, will I ever see you again? And he's like, maybe, someday. And then she says something, and they both do the stupid little laugh thing. And this girl's a horrible actress. It's not on her. Whatever. And they're like... And then he flies off into the sun, and that's how the show ends. And I just... So yeah. So that's how the show ends. With him riding off into the sunset, and everybody being all happy-go-lucky. The bitch fucking teleports to Tatooine. Obi-Wan defeats Darth Vader, and doesn't kill him. Even though he's the biggest threat to the entire universe, doesn't kill him. Bitch, like I said, the bitch disappears on Tatooine. Everybody's safe because everybody's got plot armor, so all these fights and all this shit is pointless because we all know they're gonna make it to the next episode. So it's like, why the fuck even make all this stupid shit even fucking happen? The only cool thing, if it was the only thing that could have been canon that was cool or whatever, was Qui-Gon Jinn. The fights, again, were cool. The fight with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan was cool, but it's not canon. But it's cool if you take it as just a separate, standalone thing. It was a cool fight. But if you want it to be accurate with Star Wars and you care about Star Wars and you care about the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, and you care about things like that, then it's stupid because it makes no fucking sense. But whatever. You look past that, it was just okay. Overall, for the entire show, episodes 1 through 6, and all the bullshit that was in between, and all the headaches and all the shots of alcohol I needed to get through this show, just like Halo, I would give this probably a 6 out of 10. It breaks canon like a gajillion times. It doesn't give a shit about what comes afterwards. And if it does give a shit about it, it doesn't do a very good way of showing that they give a shit about it. And they put all these characters in situations where they make you think you're going to die, but you know they don't die because they're all in the next movie. So who gives a fuck? And all these stupid side characters they make are stupid characters. So no one gives a shit about them, and no one cares if they die. And then they just have stupid things happen throughout the whole thing. Like I said in this episode, with fucking Tala sitting 3 feet away from someone on the computer going, "Alright, Obi-Wan, come on in." Like, what the fuck is that? Like, you think we're children? There's some fucking, like, that whole episode was like right out of fucking Goonies or Little Rascals or fucking even Scooby-Doo does better stuff than that. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, 6 out of 10. This show gave me just as many headaches as Halo. I don't know what the show that I'm watching now that I haven't done reviews for that I actually really like that's good is The Boys. So if you want to watch something, don't watch Halo, don't watch Obi-Wan, go watch The Boys because it's at least a good show. And all this shit that's coming out as far as comic shows and TV shows and Star Wars shows, so far everything's been bullshit, okay? So this year has not been very good for TV shows that I've wanted to watch. So yeah. I need another fucking drink.